Are you today? We are getting ready for our bonus class on how your daily self-talk impacts your life. Um, this is the bonus class to the 4-day mini course, Kiss Your Struggles Goodbye, Create a Life You Love. 4-day mini course that we've been hosting this week, completely free. If you haven't joined or watched, the videos are available till Tuesday. So you might want to go and grab that for yourself. So welcome. We have just about 2 minutes before we officially kick off. So I want to play a song that I feel is so important for you to own and realize that this is your life, and you get to choose what you want your life to look like, feel like, and be. I've been playing this all week because this is such a powerful, powerful song. It doesn't matter what's gone on in your past. It doesn't matter what you think your future holds. You get to decide today to have a life you want. So we are starting in a minute or two. Come on and join. Happy to be here with you. Yes. Drop a hello when you come in. Let me see you, hear you, feel you. We are getting started. Here we go. It is time for you to do life your way. How's that sound? Yeah. Woohoo! That's right. All right. It is 11, so we are getting started. So let me turn my music off. Alrighty. Here we go. Who's excited about, there we go. Who's excited about this bonus class? I'm excited to be here with you. There's a lot of great stuff I want to share with you today. This is all about how your daily self-talk impacts your day, impacts your life, impacts the things that you're creating, impacts what you get to manifest in your life, your feelings, all of that. And so realize that you have access, as if they're just tuning in today or haven't watched all the content. We did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Last night was a beautiful healing. If you were on last night, drop below what you experienced. I would love to hear. But we had a beautiful, beautiful healing last night. And today I wanted to offer you a bonus class of really putting the work in and being here and giving you an opportunity to take your work that you've done and go even further. Go even further. So I wanted to kick off today with sharing with you with someone that changed her self-talk, that came when I met her. She came in from a challenge, just like it was a little slightly different than this one, but very similar to this. And she came feeling skeptical, not thinking anything was going to work with her, not sure how she was going to invest in herself, and really came from a place of despair, and is now living and unemployed. Like, she couldn't find a job. She didn't know where she was going to go. And within 3 months of working with me, she landed a job that she's enjoyed. And so I wanted to start off with a share from her first. So give me a second. Let me go ahead and open this up for you. Can you see me and Kaylee? Drop a yes if you can see. Yes? Can you see Kaylee and I in the screen? Today I have a special guest. As you can see, Kaylee's today.
yourself beyond what you think abilities are, and really opening up your perspective to what you get to step into. And we've had a great week talking about your emotions, talking about tuning in, talking about re-identifying yourself and your self-talk. And Kaylee came to me actually about a year ago, maybe just not quite a year ago, right? And went through something similar to this, a little bit different. And I know that she stretched herself. She stretched herself in showing up. She stretched herself in participating and putting herself out there and taking the leaps of faith. And so welcome, Kaylee. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome. First, thank you for coming on today. I really, really appreciate you and your time. And I've loved watching you grow over this past year. And I would just, want to ask you is how has stretching yourself this past year with showing up for the 4-day mini course and then stretching yourself to invest in Fear to Freedom and then stretching yourself in the course, how has that helped you?
It's helped me in so many ways. I think the scariest thing, I think, when we're going through a lot of stuff is letting go or giving up control. And it's amazing that once you give up the control and be open to a new way of thinking, how much control that actually gives you, right? Kind of felt trapped. And so I felt like I tried everything, done everything, and I felt trapped in my own life. Like I couldn't get better. I use this metaphor. I'm really thirsty. The glass of water is within arm's reach, and I literally can't will myself to pick it up, which sounds crazy, but literally that's where I was. So where it's helped me now is I have this set of tools that gives me permission to be freer. I've taken on a new job in the last 9 months. It's an incredibly stressful job. And as much as that's stressful, it's in its place. And I've never felt better. I've been in these kinds of jobs before where I can't sleep, I can't eat, I'm stressed all the time. I've literally learned how to find that balance I was always looking for. So it doesn't mean I don't have stressful days, don't have bad days, but my self-talk is more positive. I stopped putting those rules on myself. I give myself a break. And it took me almost, I'm almost 50 years old to get to that point. And I feel like a new person. I just feel lighter. I feel more capable. And even though things are stressful, that doesn't define me anymore. That's just a thing I deal with. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense for sure.
But that's where I am. I feel so much lighter. And I have these positive discussions with myself because I have something really big going on. And it's kind of a sad thing at the same time. It's like, but I literally get to do this. And I couldn't have dreamt I'd even be in the situation to have this problem. So in context, it's still a really good thing. And I didn't know I could feel that way.
Right.
So I feel so much lighter and so much more capable. I also know what my limits are and I know how to set boundaries. I didn't know the word boundaries a year ago. Obviously we know the word, but I didn't know it in that context. And now I know how to manage my happiness. I know how to keep peace for myself. And I allow that to be so. I stopped doing for everybody else at my own expense. And I found a way to still do that now, but take care of myself first.
Yes. And then showing up for others is completely a different experience, right?
Right. It's not this frenetic stress thing. I took care of myself and now I can be supportive. I think I used the analogy with you before. It's like when you're on the airplane, they say, put your mask on first and then you can help others. I feel like I'm there now. Like that's what I've done. And I continue to do and work on. I've put my own oxygen mask on and now I can help others, but I don't have to help others. And I don't have to do it at my own expense or the way I used to.
It's a beautiful thing. So I want to take us back to a year ago when you went through a 4-day course or challenge or something, or maybe it was 5 days or what, I don't quite remember. But I know that you had some thoughts around Fear to Freedom and you were a little bit skeptical.
And totally skeptical.
And completely honest. Can you just share part of your skepticism? I think that's really important because even though you had this skepticism, you still stretched yourself. You still gave yourself permission to be curious. So.
Yeah. And at the risk of offending you, because I was very honest with you, I said, this feels like happy horseshit, like incense burning hippie things. And like, we're talking about chakras. I'm like, really? And like third eyes are going to come out of this. And I'm like, there's just no way. I'm very type A. I'm very, I'm very skeptical. And, what allowed me to consider this is after a few days, it was one of those 4 or 5 day challenge things. For the first time in any time that I could actually remember, I had hope and I'd forgotten what it felt like to be hopeful. I'm gonna cry. Hopeful about the future, like what could happen. So I joke about it, but like, that's where I was. I was not in a good place. I'd come off like I was still going through a whole lot of things that happened at once. I'm like, my life was like 10 country songs, the old kind, not the fun new kind. It was like 10 country songs rolled into one. And I had no energy to even think about what could be. I was living in my own mess mentally and I didn't have any hope. So I'm like, well, I got to the point, like, what do I have to lose? So you gave me hope. And even after a couple of days, and it was like, a couple of hours of time, you gave me a hope that I don't know that I've had even as a child. And I had to part my own judgment aside for a minute and recognize humbly, I don't know everything. And maybe I could learn something from this. Maybe not everything. Maybe I don't believe everything. But I allow myself to let's see what happens.
And having that hope and stretching yourself, because I know we talked and then you were like, you know what, I can't do this, and then I said, I don't remember the exact conversation. And then I said, let's reconnect in a day. I told you to do something or think or.
You did, you gave me an exercise to do. And something clicked that said, I just have to give this up to possibilities. I have to stop trying to, I'm in a bad place. I didn't determine how I got here, but I'm not going to get out of it unless I shift the dynamic. And I've never been one to be like, I'm a victim, I'm a survivor, or any of this other stuff. Those things make me very, very uncomfortable. And I do want to be in control, but I had gotten to the point where I felt so out of control that I needed to control more to keep bad things from happening. So I really had to do the complete opposite and be open and just see what happens. And that's very vulnerable, especially for someone like me. It made me feel very vulnerable, but it was the best decision I ever made for myself.
Wow.
I stand by that.
Awesome.
I can't believe that I'm here today, a year late. I can't believe it.
Yeah. And I
It
mean,
doesn't mean I'm perfect. Not every day's perfect, but I am a new and improved version of myself that I couldn't have seen.
that's amazing. Oh, it touches my heart so much.
I know it's hard for me to talk about. I'm getting choked up, but I'm so grateful. I really am.
Yeah. And I always say our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings dictate our reality. It dictates what shows up in our life. And I know when we met, you were searching and searching and searching for a job and trying to find your way and all of that. And just a few months of doing some inner work, you landed a job that you're enjoying.
Yeah, I love it. I'm back doing the work that I love, and they agree. Back doing the work that I love, and it's very, very fulfilling in a way that even my work wasn't before. So I'm part of that. The place I am, they recognize things in me that I always knew were in me, but other people couldn't see. So I'm definitely freer and lighter, even though I have a lot of responsibility and I've dealt with all the other stuff that was all happening. It was just a confluence of events. And I got to the point where I just was struggling to find the strength to keep going.
And somebody that's listening today that's on the fence of filling out an application or booking a call to become part of Fear to Freedom, what would you say to them?
Just, you don't even have to have an open mind, just have an open heart. Like, what do you want? What do you want to be different? How do you, if you could write out who you are a year from now, like me, what would that be? So you don't have to think about that. What does your heart want for you or your family? Because you really have to help yourself first. And if that's a very different picture from where you are today, then I'd say schedule a conversation and just see what the possibilities are. I couldn't have imagined this for myself. I really couldn't at all. And I continue to admire you, Brenda, as a leader in your craft, and continue to see more and more possibilities for growth. I'm just amazed. So if what you want for yourself in your heart, you don't have to change how you think about anything, because gosh knows I struggle with that, is different from where you are today. It's worth a discussion.
Well, you're a beautiful person, and I am honored and to have worked with you and continue to work with you. Thank you for taking time today.
Of course.
Here, and you listening, go ahead, book your call, apply.
So there's Kaylee, who, like she said, came through a 4-day mini course like you and really worked on her self-talk, really worked on processing and stretching through her resistance and stretching through the things that she thought were hippy dippy or things that she didn't think was going to work for her. So this is an opportunity today for you to stretch again, for you to move through some experience and believe that you have possibilities in your life, that you have possibilities to move forward, possibilities that you don't even know of yet. But you get to sit in that possibilities. You get to sit in the thought process of, you know what? I want to listen to my heart. If you heard what Kaylee said, not what you think, but what your heart wants. And so that's what we get to do today. We're going to go through some things today to help you shift your thinking, shift your perspective, shift your energy so that you can make a decision from a place of where you want to be versus a decision on a place of where you are right now. Right? So I'm Brenda Kiss, and I've helped thousands and thousands of women reconnect to their heart, overcoming self-doubt, overwhelm, and self-sabotage to live a life of their dreams by reconnecting back with who you are. And so what I've learned over periods of time of doing things, classes like this and helping women and all of that, is that people begin to have change. If you've been participating, drop below if you've had change this week. Drop below if you've had change this week that has impacted you. Drop yes or change. Right? And here's what happens. Here's what a lot of people think. They get, and this is what if you go back to the very beginning, my desire was to help you transform, not to motivate you, not to give you energy for the day, was literally to transform your thinking, transform your energy, transform the way you're feeling. And so what happens is people start this process and they're like, oh my gosh, Brenda, yes, I feel good. I feel great. This has been amazing. I am good to go. Well, I can tell you this, you have learned tools that if you continue to implement, you will consistently have change in your life. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But I also know that you're a human being. And I also know that human beings will go back to the path that's least resistant and go back to what's familiar in stressful situations. So your old behaviors, your old way of thinking, your old part of you will show up because that's what humans do. That's the way our brain works. We have a reptilian brain and it puts us into survival mode till your new norm is to be in thriving mode. We were born to be in survival mode. So I see that so often that comes up for people. You go through a space like this and you are making change, and then it happens, right? You get the opportunity to work deeper, you get the opportunity to dig in deeper, and all of a sudden resistance shows up. All of a sudden you're like, where I'm good, I don't need anything else, I've got this, and resistance shows up. And I want to share with you, drop down below if you can relate, like things like this are happening for you. Big growth, think you're good to go. And then your heart wants to do more and resistance is showing up. And you are thinking to yourself, well, what do I do? I want to say, when resistance shows up, listen to these words very clearly. When resistance shows up, lean into it, not back from it. Lean into the resistance, because when you lean into it and resistance shows up, the bigger the resistance, the more you lean into it, the more that you allow it, guess what? The more you move through it, and your breakthrough is right there. So if you are having a lot of resistance showing up for you, you get to move through it. Write down resistance if you're having resistance. That is your indication that you are on the right path. That is the indication that you are testing the ego, and the ego, you're like putting pressure on the ego, right? The ego wants you to stay right where you are. The ego wants you to stay right where you are, right? And so when you are in that space of wanting to grow, wanting to shift forward, wanting to change, the ego is going to put up resistance, whether it's a little bit of resistance or a wall of resistance. It's going to show up. And I invite you right now, just lean in to that resistance. Lean in and move through it. Your breakthrough is on the other side of that. I can guarantee you that. I've moved through a lot of resistance, and I've helped clients move through a lot of resistance. So you get to move through your resistance. You get to acknowledge that it's there and say, okay. The moment you make a decision to move through the resistance, the discomfort is in the indecision. The discomfort is not listening to your heart. The moment you make a decision to move through that, it's like freedom rings. I recently did a call back in January with someone who was looking to come into the Fear to Freedom program. And she had a lot of money stories. And she shared that, I can't do this. I want to. My heart wants me to, but I can't. And I'm like, well, where is that coming from? The can't. Well, fear of not being able to afford it, fear of not being able to make it happen, fear of not being able to show up. And I said, okay, that's your resistance. That's your resistance. And you can choose to let fear and ego run the show, and that will put you on a long path of healing. Or you can choose to move forward. You can choose to acknowledge the resistance and say, okay, resistance, thank you. And I'm going to have my biggest breakthrough yet. And she said yes. She said yes. And she hasn't even started the Fear to Freedom program yet. And she has already seen a shift just by saying yes and following her heart. Just by acknowledging her resistance and saying, you know what, I'm going to follow my heart. I'm going to follow my heart. So the bigger the resistance, the bigger the breakthrough. So if there's a lot of resistance coming up, say, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to move through this, and I'm going to have the biggest breakthrough ever. And we're going to talk about self-talk today, because I'm curious as to what you're telling yourself. But we're going to get to that in a minute. I do want to share another person that I had worked with, who had a lot of resistance, a lot of resistance. And so I want to share with you her story. So a lot of resistance and a lot of, I want to say, negative self-talk, negative doubt. Things aren't going to work for me. Things aren't going to happen. I'm not sure. My husband's going to leave me. I can't put more debt in my credit card. And I want you to look at debt versus investment. What's the difference? Investment is getting a return. So when you go to invest in yourself, you actually get a return on your investment. And the return can come in many forms: better relationships, more jobs. Cheryl's actually running her own business now after going through my program. So let's hear from Cheryl.
Hi.
Hi, welcome. First, Cheryl, thank you so much for being here and sharing you and your story. I really, really appreciate it. I think it's one thing to make a commitment to yourself and really do the work, and it's another to share your experience with others. So thank you, and realize that this is also a growth for you as well. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm honored to be here.
So, when you went through this 4-day challenge, what part of you realized that you know what, I'm going to put that application in?
Well, when I went through the 4-day challenge, I was kind of at a point in my life where I was just like, something's got to happen. Something's got to give.
Mm.
And I learned so much in how to, like, some tools just by going through the 4-day challenge that had helped me in that short amount of time.
Awesome.
So I decided, let me put in this application and see where it goes.
And were you scared to apply?
I was very scared to apply. I didn't know what to expect at all.
Right. And so after doing the application, there was a phone part, there's a form that you fill out, and then there's a phone conversation that happens with the application. And when we set up the phone call, and we did the phone call, and I know this is going back a few months now, but what are some of the things that you remembered that were like, just the phone call alone gave you, perspective and awareness and insight?
Well, the one thing that I remember, I don't remember our whole conversation. I know we were on the phone for a while, but I felt very heard and seen by you just in that short amount of time. And you explained to me on the phone call that what the challenge that I was dealing with was learning how, like, what love is, how to be loved. And that kind of, it really struck a chord with me. And it was like, oh, like, yeah, this is something that I've been dealing with forever. I didn't know, like, I couldn't put my finger on what the issue was.
Right. Well, I'm so glad you got that just in the conversation. And so through the conversation and through your decision-making process, were you scared? Like, speak into that a little bit, because I feel like that holds a lot of people back, right? Like they go through this challenge and they really get so excited, not just excited, they actually start to see change. And then it's like, oh, I got to take another step. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do that one. And it's okay wherever you're at, but like, how did you overcome that? You said you were scared to fill out the application. You were scared to have the conversation. How did you overcome that?
Well, I mean, for me, something in me, in my gut, was just like telling me to keep pushing forward, like keep pushing, just go through with it, see where it goes. And I was scared, like I was petrified of the price. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. And part of me right away was like, nope, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do this for myself. And then all of a sudden I got like this feeling, and I was like, if I don't do this, then how am I ever going to move forward? And right then and there, I was like, I have to do this. I'll figure it out along the way.
Awesome. And with that commitment to yourself, with that following, that trusting, that inner guidance, that your soul or your intuition or your gut, however you want to say it, by following that, how has your decision to take care of you, to step up and really put yourself first and to start to process and heal things and shift things, how has that impacted your life already?
Gosh. I mean, it's impacted it a lot. Not to say that I don't still, doubt things, but I feel more like I can when the doubt comes up, I can let those things go and just know that I'm more trusting. I have more faith and trust in knowing that things are going to work out the way that they are meant to for me.
That's awesome. To be able to step into that trusting, into that knowing, into that just, some people call it surrender, just surrendering to the process of life. And prior, where was your thought process? Like, you're saying you're trusting here and you have this sense of knowing and you're following your intuition, but where were you before you started? And I know you're only a few weeks in, maybe 13, not even quite 13 weeks in.
Almost,
Into the program. Where were you before?
I was like a frightened little girl. That's what it felt like. I was just scared that I was never going to see like the light of day, never going to get to a point where I felt like I was going to be able to move forward, or just get past all of the unhappiness, the stuckness. I felt hopeless.
From hopeless to trusting in less than 13 weeks. I mean, that's freaking amazing. I say, pat yourself on the back for stepping up and doing the work. Yes, awesome, awesome. So I would like you to share to someone that's gone through the challenge and wanting to fill out that application but hasn't filled it out. What words of wisdom could you share with them from your perspective of being in their shoes just a few weeks ago, months ago?
Well, I would say that even if you're scared to go through the application process and the phone call, to feel the fear and do it anyway. Go through it, see what happens, see what comes up for you. Talk to Brenda, because even in that phone call, even if it's just a phone call and you don't move forward or whatever, you're going to receive so much healing in that alone. But really listen to your gut, listen to your heart and what it's telling you, because fear is going to come up. It always does. It's trying to comfort you. It's ego. That's how I look at it. It's ego just coming up saying, I'm trying to protect you. But sometimes it gets in the way of your growth and your healing. And that's what was coming up for me. And if I didn't listen to that and if I didn't push past that, I would not be on the road that I'm in now. Yes, it's work, but it's worth it. The work is worth it. And I mean, just in less than 13 weeks, I feel like a totally different person. I still have more work to do, but the change in me is amazing in that short amount of time. So just go for it.
So if you want to hear her full interview, it was played yesterday as well, but feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And, she had to, just in her process of self-talk, she was able to shift from resistance from fear, from what did she say? Like despair, not trusting, doubt, to trusting and overcoming. And this interview was just over a year ago. She has since lost a ton of weight. She has gotten a certification. She and is teaching dance and has her own business and is doing absolutely unbelievably wonderful. She's a magnificent woman. And it all comes down to your self-talk. It all comes down to what you are saying to yourself. So let this experience this week be your biggest breakthrough yet. Most people will stop before their breakthrough. They will take this little bit of stuff, a little bit of information, and stop before that. Their biggest breakthrough is right there. It's like the plant that's about to sprout, right? You cannot see the budding roots until it buds, right? You are already shifting the roots around, replanting new thoughts, new feelings, new experiences, but your breakthrough is about to come. And most people stop before the breakthrough comes. So today I'm going to share with you lots of resources today to help you no matter where you are in your life. These tools that I've taught you about tuning in and identifying your emotions and redirecting your coping habits with your silly noise, your pattern interrupt, you get to use them all the time. And now I want to help you continue your healing. Your mind is always programmed, like I said earlier, to look for what's wrong, to look for the problem. The ego wants to keep you in your safe zone. So fear will show up, doubt will show up, resistance will show up. And you create your state of self-talk right there. For those that shared that there was resistance, what is your self-talk? What are you telling yourself? Right? So our self-talk comes from an experience we had, the meaning we gave it, the feelings that were created from it, and the beliefs and the stories that were developed. Remember, beliefs are lies that you tell yourself. And our self-talk comes from these experiences, right? Comes from these experiences. Your beliefs affect your energy, your actions, lack of actions, your relationships, your communication, your health, and all of that develops your self-talk, right? So what are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to help yourself move forward? Or what are you saying that's keeping you stuck where you're at? Today, I'm going to give you some proven tools to help you begin to feel better and move forward in your life no matter where you are. If you look at the middle of the word belief, belief in the middle of the word lies the word lie. A belief cannot be proven. It's about having faith or trusting. And your beliefs, whatever beliefs you have, whatever self-talk you have right now, your beliefs are what's holding you or expanding you depending on your belief. And you can choose to embody any belief. And it's not just up here with positive affirmations. I love affirmations, but it's not just about here. It's about feeling it, taking it, letting it really connect with your heart, feeling it in your whole body, and bringing that belief, that essence, to who you truly are. The third, sorry, I think there's some, my families all have colds, and I think I'm getting it. The third key to creating a life you love is to hear what you're saying to yourself and what you're saying about others. Learning tools to help you elevate your energy is the key to creating a life you love. So no matter what the story of your experience is, no matter what your perspective is, you can always look at opportunities and always look at experiences and see many opportunities, many perspectives. I'll give you an example. I'm one of 3 children. We were raised by the same exact parents, all 3 of us, same mom, same dad. I know that's not rare. I mean, I know that's a rarity these days. And all 3 of us are very different, and we have very different perspectives, very different beliefs. Check out your family members or your siblings if you have siblings. Based on your beliefs are based on your experiences that you have, right? So one of the best ways to get unstuck and to bring positive thoughts is to focus on 3 areas, these main 3 areas. And in my 12-month program, this is what we hone in and dive into and master, so that at any circumstances that comes up, you are able to move through, to process, experience, and continue to elevate and see the good in everything. To see the good in what's happening. So when you're in an unresourceful state, like resistance, depression, grief, sadness, blocked, overwhelmed, angry, you want to use the following 3 areas to create a life you love. And the first 3 areas that you want to look at, or the first area of the 3 that you want to look at, is your body. You want to check in. How are you treating your body? What's going on in your body? Do you know that just by making simple shifts in your physical body, you can begin to feel better? Tony Robbins teaches a process of having a mini trampoline in your house and literally jumping on the mini trampoline for 1 minute, because it completely resets your emotional state. Right? My mentor taught me, if I was upset, to put a pen in my mouth, because just by smiling, although when you're upset, you don't want to smile, so you put a pen in your mouth, it does the same thing. Just by doing that you begin to release endorphins and start to feel happier. So your body, like I've been saying all week, is your biggest gift to you. And you get to use your physical body to start shifting whatever you want in your life, right? So let's test this out right now. Right now, let's test this out. Put yourself in what I call an unresourceful state, shoulders down, a depressed state, right? Maybe this is very familiar for you. I don't know. Shoulders down, head tilting down. And put yourself here and just notice the thoughts. Notice the feelings. Notice what you think's possible when you're like this. Okay, now roll your shoulders, open up your heart, chin up. This is called an energy-rich state. And put yourself here and just begin to ask yourself, what's possible for you now? And just doing this physical move, if you're so used to being like this, it could be challenging and super uncomfortable like this. So when your shoulders are back and your chin is up, drop down what's possible. Drop down the difference that you feel. Drop it in the chat. Let me hear from you. What's the difference you feel just by that little shift in your body? Your body is your biggest indicator of what's taking place in your life. If you're holding on to extra weight, if you have dis-ease in your body, your posture, limited modality, like mobility, not modality, mobility. What did you notice when you shift from a depressed state to a resourceful state? Right? Start practicing putting yourself in that resourceful state. Can also become resourceful, but by doing many things, just moving your body alone, shaking things out, moving, releasing, dancing, right? All of that begins to shift your state. Standing up, sitting down, if jumping up and down. It reminds me of a story when I was awesome. When I was it was during COVID, I believe, in the pandemic when we were in lockdown. My son and it might have been then, or it might have even been before then, we're sitting doing puzzles, and he was about six years old, and he doesn't like to sit still. Anybody have kids that don't want to sit still? He does not like to sit still. Oh, I'm seeing the comments coming in about being more confident. Yeah. And so he doesn't like to sit still, and he was actually so focused and sitting still and doing puzzles. Probably he did like 6 puzzles. And in the last one, he had like 3 or 4 pieces left, and he was getting so frustrated. And I'm like, go run up and down our steps for a few minutes and come back. And he did that, and he came back, and he was like, bloop, 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 bloop. All he had to do was switch his emotional state, let some energy out, let some flow, let something happen. So switching your physical state, your body has such a huge impact on where you get to, how you get to show up. So when you are in an unresourceful state, like angry, mad, depressed, sad, lonely, tired, all you have to do is move your body. We did that yesterday with our Wednesday with our silly move and the sound, right? So moving your body, checking in with your physical body, treating your physical body kindly with water and rest and love and nurturing through your food and your diet and what you put on your body and in your body. Your body is a gift to you. And when you want to help feel better, work on your physical body as well. And the next area is your language and communication. So you want to become aware of what you speak out loud and what you speak quietly in your mind. What are you saying daily to yourself? What are you speaking? How are you speaking about yourself, and how are you speaking about others? What are you telling yourself about your life, about what's possible, about your healing, about being able and willing to invest in yourself? Drop it down. Let me hear some of the stories you're telling yourself. What are you telling yourself about your health, about having the ability to invest in yourself, having the desire to move forward? What are you saying? What's that self-talk? And how's your body when you're telling yourself this? Remember, Kaylee thought all this stuff was hocus pocus? All of these little tools add up. Little consistent tools add up to make big, consistent shifts. So what is the self-talk that you're telling yourself about your healing, about investing in yourself, about your life, about what's possible? I used to say, is this really going to help me? How can I spend money on me when my family needs it? How can I justify spending money on me when we have bills and other things to pay? Do I deserve to heal, or can someone really help me? I also used to say, am I smart enough? Am I skinny enough? Am I able to make money? Am I ever going to be happy? Will I ever feel grateful for the life that I have? What are some of the stories that you were telling yourself? Participation is key. Participate in your life. Participate in the life that you truly want. Do not be a bystander. Do not be a bystander in your life. You get to move forward. What are you saying about others? What is the story that you're saying about others? They won't like me. They'll get mad at me. Nobody cares. You guys have stories? If I have no stories, then we don't go on. If you have them and don't want to share, that's fine. Just drop down, have them. I'm all about creating change, and if I don't know if you're here participating, and I am not knowing if I'm able to impact you, I don't know if I could go on. So what's happening here? Why is there's no comments coming in? Did I lose you? Or so much resistance has showed up? You don't want to communicate anymore? What happened? Yes. Thank you, Monique, for being open and honest and uncomfortable. Yes. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to shift our energy. We're going to do some healing around this so that you can create some new self-talk. How does that sound? Who wants to create some new self-talk? Drop it down. New self-talk, I'm in. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand up. Stand up. Shake your body. Shake your body. Shake. If you can't stand, shake when you're sitting. Just move your body. If you can't move your body, just take a sip of water. Just do something with your physical body. Remember, we just talked about that? Okay. I'm going to take you through a process right now. I want you to hold your hands out like this. And in your dominant hand, and if you don't have a specific dominant hand, just choose your right hand. And in your dominant hand, I'm going to take you through a process. Hold on, I'm going to tell you in a second. I'm going to have you look into your dominant hand with your eyes closed, and I'm going to have you look into your non-dominant hand with your eyes closed, and then I'm going to have your hands come together and open back up and then come to your heart. Okay? So what you're going to do is close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Another deep breath in and out. One more deep breath in and out. And with your eyes closed, bring your awareness and attention to your dominant hand. And in your dominant hand is the part of you, is the version of you that lives with her heart open. She's a 12-inch version of you, and in this dominant hand is the person that sees possibilities, that feels the way you want to feel. Imagine her. Imagine all of her qualities, the way she feels, the way she looks, what she's experiencing, her energy, her vitality, her health, her qualities, her characteristics. Notice everything about her, the way she breathes, her posture, her energy, her thoughts, her beliefs. Make her bigger, brighter, louder, clearer, more intense. Turn her up, amplify her. And just tap into her qualities for a moment here. With her heart open, fully trusting life and the process of life. Just allow yourself to imagine that now. Now hold on to her and bring your awareness to your non-dominant hand. And in your non-dominant hand is a 3-inch version of you. This 3-inch version of you is the doubt, is the resistance, is the part of you that's holding you back. know her well, showed up your whole life. She's the one that keeps you in the box, keeps you limited, that throws up the resistance. But for years, she kept you safe. But you realize that you're here for a reason. You want growth, you want expansion, you want something different in your life, or you wouldn't be here. So you can give her thanks for protecting her, but you can also give her permission to leave now. So turn your hands to face each other and bring your palm to palm, allowing the healing, the 12-inch version to heal and set that 3-inch version free. That's right. Whew, let her go. With gratitude and love in your heart, see her be free. Transmute it back into love. That's right. And then opening up your hands, looking into your dominant hand with your eyes closed, and just noticing if it's positive or neutral. And if it is, bring it to your heart. Same with your non-dominant. If it's positive or neutral, bring it to your heart. If there's anything left that's not, just blow her out into the universe and bring your hands to your heart and just let the essence of who you truly are begin to reconnect and reignite all parts of your being. That's right. Let this essence flow through you here and now. And as you allow this to flow through you here and now, see what's possible for you. Step into this version of yourself and see what decisions, what choices does she make? How does she show up? That's right. What stories does she create? What stories does she believe right now? I can and I am what? What is she committing to? Just take a breath in, breathe that all in. And on the exhale, open your eyes, jot it down. Let me hear the new stories, the new commitments, the new self-talk. Let me hear. Drop them in. And as you drop them in, I want to share with you one more person that came to me with very negative self-talk, with a lot of doubt in her life, a lot of unhealthy boundaries, a lot of despair, in the sense of, I say despair, but all these women had hope. They had hope because they kept showing up and they had the courage to move forward. You are worthy, 100%. Okay, let's see here.
Hi, my name is Donna Castrakeen. I have been working with Brenda for about a year now. And I want to tell you that when I started with Brenda, I did a free online class and I thought, there might be something to this. I had been very depressed. I didn't know where to turn. I knew I needed help, didn't know how to get that help. And I saw it and I said, let me sign up. What do I have to lose, right? And I listened and I was like, wow, I'm not alone here. People have been going through the same thing. I was overwhelmed. I cried most of the time. I was very depressed. I couldn't trust myself to make decisions in my relationships or with work. I wasn't getting things done. I felt overwhelmed and stressed out all of the time. And Brenda came along just at the right time in my life. And it's really been a great help to me. I was scared to start because I didn't even know if it was going to work. I didn't trust it. Didn't know what to trust. Didn't even know if I was making a good decision, honestly. And then I thought, well, what do I have to lose? And I took the step. And I've got to tell you, things have changed so much for me. I have lightened up so much. My mood has increased to, I'm not depressed anymore. I don't doubt myself anymore like I used to. I don't question what I'm doing. I was able to get out of my head and get my head started working, working on my head so I could get to my heart. And that's what I really think Brenda's class has really helped me get out of the head stuff that I'm in and change that negative mindset to uncover my heart and to live by my heart. And my life has changed dramatically. I've moved, I've sold a house, changed a relationship, changed a job. I've changed a lot of things within the last year. But I trust that I'm on the right path now. And I would urge anyone who is in any kind of similar situation. My husband, we're separated now, and that was my choice. I was in a very bad situation with him. I didn't know who to reach out to get help with that. I had really struggled with that. I felt shame and embarrassment even about it. And this really has helped me so much with that. I'm not alone. So many women experience the same things I've experienced: the overwhelm, the stress, the lack of trusting yourself to make a good decision. And I am, 1 year out, learning more every day about myself and how to take care of myself. I'm really great at taking care of others, so much to the point that I'm a nurse. But really at taking care of myself and putting myself first as a priority, that was not something I was really good at. So this year has been that year of reaching out for help, rediscovering me, and getting rid of all of the crap, essentially, ladies, that we put on ourselves, from things we've heard, things we think we're supposed to do, and we change. I've changed my thinking, and back to me, back to focusing on what's good for me. So I'd really urge anyone to take a moment, take a class, speak with Brenda. She's an awesome mentor. She can help you turn around things really in very little time, I believe. All of us are on a journey. All of us are in different places in our journeys. I may have been a little slower than others, a little faster than others, whatever. We're all where we're supposed to be. But I would encourage you really to make the call, to see what it's about, to really be open-minded for once, to reach out for the help that you need, because you're going to find it. And you're going to find a community of women that support you and help you and are willing to just, be there with an encouraging word. It's a fabulous online community. I can't say enough about it. And Brenda and her mentoring, I really encourage everyone to trust. Just this one-time trust. Make the call, take the steps needed, take the class, and you will find things changing even within your first classes. You will get tools immediately to help you, and you'll begin to practice them, and your life will change. And that's all I have to say, really.
Thanks,
It's
Donna.
been
Yes. So you get to trust yourself, whatever that version of you said and wanted. You get to trust the process of bringing you closer to that. Trust the process of bringing you closer to that. And the last area that you get to focus on is focus. What are you focused on? Are you focused, like Donna said, on the doubt, not making a good decision, not trusting yourself, of all the things that could possibly go wrong? Or are you focused on what's working, what's going to work? What are the possibilities? What's the potential? Right? What are you focusing on that's giving you the path to move forward or the path to move back? So listen to the dialogue that you're saying. What are the questions you're asking yourself that are either helping you move forward or that are taking you back to the comfort zone, back to that safe zone? And so why do you still have the opportunity for the next 3 days to book a call with Angelica? I actually don't do the calls anymore. Angelica, who's my coach, who's been training with me for years. You can go to callwithangelica.com to work further, to make this your stepping stone to the next big breakthrough and change your life around. Expand it. Become who you're destined to become. You go to callwithangelica.com and it brings you here. And you click Awareness to Change call. It's an opportunity to have this call for free. You want to go ahead and book that call. Take yourself to the next level. Take your healing. Let the breakthrough happen. Move through the resistance. And come on in. Come on in. We have one more special, amazing class tomorrow evening at 7:30. Make this your time to say yes to you. You heard Donna. She had said yes for everybody else for a long time. And saying yes to her gave her a whole new life, a whole new outlook on where she gets to go and what she gets to create in her life. So this is your opportunity to do that for yourself. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm happy to answer any. Send me a message. I invite you to not let resistance hold you back. I invite you to move through it, move through it, move through it, and pick up the phone. Move through it and say yes. It's time to kiss your struggles goodbye. We are here to support you. We will continue to be here to support you. I love you so much. Have a fabulous Saturday.